Peanut clan, inviting people, telling stories, finding her, making poems too. Inspire, engage. Inspire, engage. This is EKLA. I'm there. This is EKLA. Hi everyone, we are with Saugat. Please introduce yourself.
Hey, I'm Saugat. I'm originally from Nepal. I came to USA around 2014 for my undergrad and since been living here in Philadelphia. And I'm loving every part of it. I work as a cybersecurity architect consultant. Um, you know, and I also do EDM producing. So there are so many things that I do. Sometimes I like forget about what kind of things I do. Uh, but that's a very brief overview of who I am.
Oh, that's great. And where can our listeners connect with you online?
Yeah, you can follow me on my Instagram page, the real Saugat Sthapit. So there are lots of pages, but you can follow me on the real Saugat Sthapit.
Okay. Uh, well, let's start. Entrepreneurship can be a roller coaster of emotions with highs and lows along the way. Based on the theme you chose, top secret feelings, I made originally this theme on the first seasons about about some feelings I had for people, but because of circumstances, I couldn't tell. And let's adapt to your reality now. And can you share any top secret feelings you have experienced while building and navigating your ventures, whether be excitement, anxiety, or something else entirely?
That's a good question. And I think every entrepreneur can attest to what I'm going to say. Entrepreneurship is a very lonely road. You feel all alone in the whole world. It's you versus, you know, the world in terms of navigating the complex challenges that we have in terms of customer demands because it keeps on evolving, in terms of competitors because again this keeps on evolving. So loneliness definitely is a big part of uh, my entrepreneurship journey when I first started. So I started my entrepreneur journey when I was 14. um, what I was doing back then was more of like getting the projects and I was hiring my own guys. So I was, you know, I was an IT project manager. So I used to do freelancing and I was an IT project manager and I would hire different IT guys, developers, and then I give them the project. So so my entrepreneurship started like that. Even at that time it was so challenging because 14-year-old I didn't know anything about how business works, but yet somehow I managed to convince these clients at that time saying like, hey, I'm capable. Although I didn't say the age, because if they know if I'm 14 they would be like, I'm not going to talk to you, right? There's nobody wants to deal with 14-year-old for the big projects they have. But somehow I managed to pull it off. So what that means is it just gives me more confidence on like, hey, yes, it is a lonely road. It is challenging, but it can be done. You know, all you have to do is
Mhm.
to convince yourself first that you can achieve it by having that self-discipline, focus, all is needed. And of course there is another aspect where you convince your partners, your customers, your clients saying like, I can get this job done. So again, since that started, started many other businesses in business to business or business to customers. So we say B2B or the B2Cs. So yes, it's challenging when you go for when you go as a solo entrepreneur. But I advise everybody who wants to go on that similar route. If you know the business, great. But if you don't know the business, how things work, you need to have a co-founder. You need to have somebody by your side so that when you are feeling down, somebody is going to lift you up. And when he is down or she is down, then you can lift him up. So there would be that kind of equilibrium balance, right? That's going to happen, which is very key to early startup phase. So yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you because when I was 14, of course, I was not an entrepreneur. I just started the activity that now is becoming my business. I started drawing when I was 14. But
Oh, nice. What did
um,
you do?
I'm a graphic designer
Oh
and
wow.
illustrator, and I also have this podcast. It helped me transitioning from law to graphic design. And I was a 20 something. And when you said it's you against the world, it's the same sensation I have. I
Yeah.
feel the same. Everyone seems to say nothing will work. You are crazy to have a business
Yeah.
and starting uh, to build your idea from scratch. I really understand you and I agree with each word. Unfortunately, I'm an introvert and it's really hard to find a co-founder, a partner, and I'm going after this partnership. And this is a very important part because uh, two heads think better than only one.
Right. No, 100%. If you had to go back in time, would you do it with a partner?
Oh, I, I need to uh, have more ideas because I have some creative blocks during the time, and well, a business can't stop. If I have a creative block, the business must stop. This podcast, for example, is only me, and it stopped for 2 years. And well, I decided to restart with guests, and now I'm looking for a co-host. It's a really important part. It's like a co-founder, but in
Yeah,
podcasting, but
of
it
course.
helps the creative part. It will be really great.
Exactly. No, it definitely helps. Like for example, if you have a co-host in your podcast, it takes 50% of your load off. That's enough for your mental health. So that's exactly it. That's exactly it.
um, well, in your work and personal life, you have likely encountered moments that stir up top secret feelings or emotions that you may not readily share with others. How do you navigate and process these hidden emotions? And how do you find outlets for expressing or addressing them?
That's a very good question. Uh, and I think this will be very good for my potential dates too. Uh, so you know, I was raised by a single mom, right?
Mhm.
Uh, yes, although I grew up in Nepal, and what happens is that part of the world, it's Asia, right? They are very they have lots of societal boundaries, And when you have a child being raised by a single mom, society always points a finger. Okay. So I have been fortunate enough to be born in a privileged class, though, a privileged family. So my grandfather and my great grandfathers were like, very privileged in our society. So I didn't have to go through hurdles, but I definitely saw the challenges that a person can go through, right? And slowly I started building up how to navigate my own emotions. Even since child is like, for example, people would ask, for example, where your dad is. I have no idea where my dad is when I was a kid.
Mhm.
Uh, and then I think I had this defensive mechanism slowly created in me is to just lie about it, because people don't answer. I mean, don't ask more questions if you just answer, right? So
Mhm.
sometimes it's easier to just shut people up than just like to have answer lots of questions. So slowly I started realizing that the same thing I just said, it's it's okay to just shut up people's mouth and be selfish about it. um if there are things that you really want to do in your life and you are just thinking about other people, what other people will say, that will really conflict with your emotions and your mental health. That happened to me all the time, because again, um, it's not just about being raised by a single mom. Now it's just like who I am as a person. I'm a very good guy, right? I'm a very nice guy, uh, at
Mhm.
least when I was growing up, because I was raised in that kind of household, just to account for other person's feelings, person's emotions, not being an asshole, basically, not being a douchebag. So I would just tailor my the way I do things, the way my actions were being done, was basically catering to other people's uh, you know pleasing. I was a big people pleaser. I just wanted to say other people to say like, oh, I like Saugat, I like working with him, or yeah, I like him as a person. I was just chasing that validation. And sometimes I feel like, is it because I don't have a dad? But no, it's not, because I actually have like three uncles who were role models in my life. But I still feel like I was chasing the validation from other people. And I think we all suffer from that part in certain extent, right? Like we all want to be loved. We all want to feel respected. And in that journey, we let go of who we are. So how do I manage deal any stress? Is basically not giving a fuck. That's it.
Mhm.
Like the less you care about what people think about you, the less you care about what you want to do to make another person happy, the life is going to be so much beautiful. Let naysayers hit you. Let other people hit you. Who cares? You know, especially right now with the social medias and Instagram. You put in the reels right now. Like if this podcast, you put in the Instagram, you will see lots of people complaining about the way I speak, and things like that. And I will still have to say like, you know what? I don't give a fuck. I don't know you.
Mhm.
It's so it's again, we are in the generation. This is a very crazy generation we are living in. Uh,
Sure.
because of the social media, right? Like you do anything, like people just wants to get your reaction and record that, and then just make it more viral, right? And we just have to be the owner of our own emotion so that nobody can affect who we are. And that is how I manage the stress. That is how I manage to get things done, is just being focused, being disciplined. Yeah. So that's it. I mean, honestly, what helped me in this is the gym. So it's the key factor. When you go to gym, your mental state becomes just at the right place.
Oh, I hear many guys. I don't know how old you are, but I hear many guys from this generation 20 something talking about the importance of physical exercise, and it makes me happy because I'm a millennial. I'm 35 years old, and I remember when I was in my 20s, many of the guys used to use the alcohol and other substances
Wow.
uh, as the escape route. Even the songs 10, 15 years ago, they were showing the alcoholic adventures. And I remember in a time of my life before the professional transition, feeling empty because I didn't agree with that. And many of my friends only offered me that option. To have
Wow.
fun, you have to drink, you have to party. And I'm not a party girl. I've never been.
Right.
And I went to church to and many people also misunderstand because they think because we are religious people,
Right.
we close ourselves to the external world, and this is not true. uh, Actually, I learned to saw the world with better eyes after restarting my religiosity and even diving deeper.
Right.
and
Right.
and about the question of family, I came with from a very structured family. You may notice I'm also non-native. I'm Brazilian, and Brazil is a strange place. uh,
Hmm.
out Outside, many people think we are party people, but inside we are very conservative. And people from structured families, they are always they must follow that label of, oh, you must marry and have children at certain
Yeah.
age and work at certain field, live the life inside that box. And if
Right.
you decided to live
Right.
outside, people will start misjudging you. So I agree
Yeah.
with you. It's the best
Just let
way
go.
is just let go and
Yeah.
forget
Yeah.
this external noise and live your
Exactly.
life.
Are you in Brazil right now?
Yeah.
Oh, awesome. Well, where? What part of Brazil?
I'm from Rio de Janeiro.
Ooh, I actually want I actually want to travel there. I'm
Oh,
thinking of probably traveling there in like summer. Yeah.
yeah, now we are starting fall, and when people don't know, the seasons are inverted.
Oh, right. Yeah. Completely forgot. See, that's where I. Yeah, that's the key part of traveling is like you got to check the weather. I never do that, and sometimes I go on a very mess uh planning. So I haven't. Yeah. I don't check the weather app a lot. That's a problem.
um, well, looking as someone passionate about helping people with financial literacy, you may encounter top secret feelings or vulnerabilities in your effort to empower others. Can you share any experiences or insights into navigating these emotions?
When it comes to financial literacy,
Oh, sorry, but I think it was to other guest, but it's let me see here. I'm really sorry. Don't worry,
Not a
I
big
will
deal.
cut this part.
Not a big deal.
Yeah, this is the right right question. Your journey from Kathmandu,
Yeah.
Nepal, to the United States likely
Yes.
involved significant personal and emotional transitions. Can you
Yeah.
share any top secret feelings or emotions you experienced during that period of change and adaptation?
Top feelings on that. Yeah, even when I was in Kathmandu, I grew up watching American movies. Um, yeah, the movies and the songs, like big fan of Linkin Park at the time.
Mm-hmm,
Um, and I was watching The Girl Next Door and slowly started falling in love with how USA functions. Like our growing up there, we are not party people. Like uh, us as kids, especially at that time, um, we are constrained by what parents dictates how our life should be. So I was a good student. I was just studying probably like 12 to 14 hours per day. Um, and the reason I'm doing studying is because what happens is you just want to get out of the society, and that's because that's the concept of that society. For example, in Nepal, if you go there and if you
mm-hmm,
ask any people, hey, what do you want to do in the future after you pass your high school, everybody, you know what everybody would say? They would say, I just want to go to USA. I just want to go to Australia.
mm-hmm.
That is a goal. Here, if you ask people in USA, if you ask kids, they have actual thing like, I want to become doctor, I want to become an engineer. Yes, we have there too. It's not like kids don't, but the main goal has always been surrounded by going to foreign countries and achieving those engineering or doctorate degree. So
Yes.
that's why I was putting all these efforts in my studies so I could get good scholarship, go to the best school in Nepal, and best school in United States, which I did, right?
Mm-hmm,
Um, so yeah, studying 16 hours a day and slowly navigating the forms of American life. Even when I was there, just watching movies and listening to different songs. And then I realized like how cool it must be for me to be in USA um, and just like do things that I want. For example, I was watching this movie. I don't know if you know, but the movie is called American Pie. Do you know that
Oh, I
movie?
know this movie. Yes,
Yeah,
of course.
exactly. Yeah, so it's a teenage movie, and I was teenager back then. 12, 13. I watched that movie, and then I was like, shit, I really wanna go to USA and party like that. Who doesn't want to have a good time, right? And yeah, always started. I mean, I already started seeing myself to come to USA and live that life of that teenagers in the American Pie. Just as a guy, I mean, you always are drawn towards girls, so it's like, oh, in Nepal you have one girlfriend, and that one girlfriend probably will turn to your wife. In USA,
Mhm,
it's not the same. It's like you
yeah.
navigate multiple girls, multiple partners, and
Western.
then you slowly realize. So I was prepared for all those. But when I first came here, it was awesome. It was awesome. The time I stepped my foot in USA, I realized so I was 17-year-old when I came here. And I realized, wow, the dream has actually came true, right? The air smells nice. It's fresh. The cars are slick. It's all clean. And I was in JFK, and I was still thinking that means like you can
Mm-hmm.
think like what was I used to back there. Um, and when I went to college, the first day, lots of kids, not so kids, I mean, at the time, friends, who eventually became my friends, came to introduce themselves to me. And one of the girl came. Now, I'm not used to Americans. I'm not used to American people approaching me
Mhm.
in Nepal. I'm not
Mhm.
I'm not even used to speaking English. And then the girl comes while I'm just standing there and introduces herself. She's being nice, of course. And she says, hey, this and that. Like, for example, I think she said something along like, oh, are you a new student here? Like, oh, it's so great to have you, or something like that. And what's your name? And she spoke English so fast, my ear could not process it. I was like, what? Like that. Because I'm not used to English, American accent.
Mhm.
And there was a dilemma. Now I'm thinking, should I say what again? Or should I just say, my name is Saugat and that's it? The thing is, I'm overthinking now, you know? That was my first shock. It's like, girl is beautiful, of course. You never see like the skin with no melanin in Nepal, but in USA you see everybody, and then the girls are pretty too. And they come and introduce again. In Nepal, no girls approach like that. Here it's like pretty forward, and I was intimidated by her beauty, by her accent, by my incompetency in English. So So I was frightened. I was frightened to death. Honestly, I couldn't speak. I said, my name is Sogad," and then I'm like, and then I just smiled along the whole talking part. While she was talking, I just smiled. That's it. Probably she thought I was dumb guy or something. Uh,
Mhm.
and then we had like I think bonfire or something the next day in campus, and there I see the actual American Pie stuff, which is like there were lots of girls, everybody partying, lots of guys again partying, drinking, and I'm just standing in the door, thinking like, wow, life has actually came to this part, uh, and uh, and yeah, I mean, it was a cultural shock because when party happens, things happen. So seeing that in front of me, like people making that, I was shocked again. It's like nobody does that in Nepal. If you do that in Nepal, you will get hit by public. People will come to beat your ass. Just for public indecency, decency. But in US, everything is fine. So I was just observing, honestly, like a creep with a drink in my hand. First time I tossed the beer at that time. Although I couldn't drink properly, I was trying to drink just to look cool. So I was doing this while everybody was partying. Literally, like if you have to describe creep, how do you describe? You, a creep is basically somebody who is standing alone in the corner, just checking out the people, especially girls. That's who I was at that time, unknowingly, right? I mean, I was not checking out girls; I was just checking out the vibe. But what to do?
I
So
understood.
there's a big cultural difference because I couldn't speak English properly, and then there are all these Americans who are just, you know, the thing about Americans, one thing is like they're very confident. They sound confident even if they are not confident inside. Um, so, all these guys partying, I was pretty intimidated, not gonna lie. But slowly, like you get used to it. I actually didn't even call people because I have to speak in English. I would rather text. So I was like that kind of guy. And slowly, I started meeting my girlfriend, who also is American, and yeah, here I am. Uh, you know, now I can speak, I guess, fluently. But that was a big cultural shock, though. I mean, the food wise, the way of thinking, it's so different. And great thing that you mentioned this is because I just recently went back to Nepal after 8 years. After
Mhm.
8 years, I came. I went back to Nepal. So I came here at 17. I went back at 20. I'm sorry, it was 27. Yeah. Um, when I was 27. So like 3 months ago, basically. um, when I went there, I could not connect with my own people because I'm so
Yeah.
Americanized already.
Mhm.
You know, the way of thinking changed completely. Uh, and when I went there, I thought I would have a happy conversation with all the folks there. I would have easy way of communicating or connecting with my own people. But I realized it's not the same. I changed.
Mm.
Now I'm in a Yeah, now I'm in the part of life where I'm not exactly Nepali, but I'm not exactly American either, right? So I'm suffering from a multicultural trauma. I think that's what it's called. Uh, yeah. Like you don't belong here, but you don't belong there too. So it's like that, which is
Well,
awesome. That's you go out
yeah,
and
it's not bad. And same here. Many people want to go to the USA. It is still the destiny, the most desired destiny by people. I always
yeah.
wanted to immigrate. I still want to, even after 30s. But as a single
Why do you
woman,
want to
it's not
immigrate?
so easy.
I'm sorry
Can
to
I?
interrupt. Why do you want to immigrate here?
I want to emigrate because uh, of economy here is really hard to establish a life. There are many laws, there are many taxes. It's
Oh,
mostly the political stuff.
got it.
But the American countries, both North and South American, they are very cosmopolitan. I really feel
Yeah.
good while talking to other people because uh, there are people from many origins. We don't have a face, we don't have a name. So I think it's a bit easier. But the pandemic, the COVID, stopped my plans for a while. And then I started finding networking groups, online networking groups. And well, I had a very good experience. And uh, I even had many cultural shocks, especially when talking to Europeans. It's
Yeah.
really funny. I had, but only online, I had many cultural shocks, and I really understand what you're saying. And
Right.
people, when you turn off and come back to your reality, I really start thinking, overthinking about many details. Oh, this is not something I do because
Yeah.
I'm a human. It's my culture. Many things. I started rethinking many things, and
Yeah.
of course, I know. I grew up in a culture, but the more I meet foreigners, the the less attached to my culture I become.
Oh,
I
really?
think, yeah, this is good because we don't discriminate. I think we tend not to. Some
Yeah.
people they will always uh, do some discrimination, but well, we keep our minds open when we meet people from other other cultures from other countries, and always open our ears. This is important to not only see look at their eyes, but see what they hear what they want to say. This is really important.
Right. Right. Do you also face this thing? Because I noticed mine. Uh, when you speak in a different language, right? Your personality changes.
Oh, I heard this, and I think this is true. I also speak Spanish, French, and other languages, and yeah, I
Yeah,
think this is true.
right?
It's really hard to cry while speaking other language, but if I speak something in my mother tongue, Portuguese, uh, I will feel deeper emotions.
Hmm.
It's really
Right.
different.
No, I think no, it's 100% true. So I'm newly single right now, and I after dating American girls, I wanted to go back to my root to see if, because I never dated my own cultures except my first girlfriend. So I went back to dating browns like the Indians or Nepalis. But this time I'm dating a Indian girl, and she was saying, I just want to talk in Hindi, in their Indian language, to me. And I'm like,
Mhm.
why? I mean, I understand Hindi, but why? I'm just speaking English. And she's like, it feels more personal. It feels more homey. It feels like I'm coming after speaking English all day. I just want to come home to somebody who I know in a personal level. And I was like, I didn't know, how much the way you speak or the how much you speak in certain language changes how you think or process.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a singer too, and I remember when doing musical theater classes. My teacher, she told me this. Please take care of your emotions while singing in another language than Portuguese. When
Mm,
you are singing in your mother tongue, you tend to express better your emotions.
great.
So uh, try to translate these emotions to the language you are singing. Uh, and after she told me this, I started noticing some artists who sing in other languages
Yeah.
than their native ones. That it's weird. Sometimes they just think at technical details. Oh, voice issues and so on, but they forget to put emotion, and it becomes something really strange to our ears. You told about this, and I really it really reminded me the singing classes, and
What kind of
I'm
singing did you do? Well, what was the genre?
oh
Like the pop,
I
rock,
opera yeah.
opera,
I
opera. I
Yes,
don't know how it's pronounced. See, it's still not good. Oh,
uh,
really? That's so
yes, I'm a
hard.
soprano. I'm a soprano. I stopped it for a few years, but I started singing opera and symphonic metal songs that mixes rock with opera. Uh, this is my passion. I really love this.
Did you
But
say symphonic metal? Is that a genre? Symphonic metal?
yes, symphonic
So
metal.
I know metal is more of like, Metallica metal. So
Yes,
symphonic
yes.
metal is what? Like, what is the artist that I could like probably check?
Uh,
Probably you,
my favorite one is Nightwish.
Nightwish.
Yes, the old one is a Finnish band from Finland,
Oh,
and uh,
symphony.
they yes they have many. They blend metal with classical music, and it's really interesting. There are many other bands, mostly European bands. I know very few American bands that sing this genre, but
Right.
well, I like to this technique, and well, most of my family are musicians. My father family are musicians and singers. They sing in the church. But when I started singing professionally, well, I didn't feel the freedom to sing whenever I wanted, and I decided just to stay at online karaoke. I can still sing to many people, but I don't have the pressure of someone telling me what to do, how to
Good.
present, and what to sing. Well, I
Oh,
think
nice.
it was a great experience.
100%. 100%. You know what I realized too? Like most of the metal bands are actually from Europe. Lots of metal
Oh,
bands are in Europe,
oh, the
but
best ones. You're right.
the best ones, the best ones, all the crap ones are all over the world except for Europe. Yeah. Yeah, but there's so many musical talent out there. I didn't know. Can I search you in Spotify and you come like Leah, Layeh?
Yes, I can. I have the is Mule, the app is Mule, and I can share with many people. I'll
Oh,
try to
Smil. Wow.
upload. Yeah, I'll
Okay.
try to upload on Instagram something. I have some old songs I sang there,
Nice.
and I also had a YouTube channel. I don't know if it still exists, and I used it to sing to my Twitter followers, but I well, I rated my Twitter account some months ago, and because I wasn't giving too many attention, so
Yeah, it's
I decided
hard.
to delete.
Makes sense, right? So many social media to manage nowadays: Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, which is X right now, social Facebook. It's too much. Too much work.
Oh, sure. Well, and the next question is about the challenges. Uh, are you facing a big challenge in your work right now?
Work? No, not work. In life, yeah.
In life? Okay.
No,
Oh,
work.
entrepreneurs, we entrepreneurs, I consider myself too. We have this tendency, work life and personal life is only one.
Ah, yeah, yeah. Well, there is always challenge in work, but that's what I do all the time. Monday to Friday, work, work, work. There is always challenges, but okay, this is weekend. I'll talk about my personal challenge here.
Oh, for sure.
Um,
Go ahead.
the personal challenge is the dating part. Dating part. It's crazy right now. Everybody is an option.
Mhm.
Everybody is nothing but an option until you commit. Even then, I think people consider them options. So I recently became single. Uh, I think I broke up with my ex after 8 years of relationship, just like 2 months ago, and I'm in dating market right now, and for me especially, and girls are girls, of course. They have like thousands of guys,
Mhm.
and for me, the personal challenge has been trying to figure out who I am. It's like, do I want relationship? Should I just jump into relationship? Should I focus on myself? Should I travel the world more? Because I have luxury of doing all these things, all like especially traveling part, and that's the biggest challenge I'm trying to explore or trying to navigate. I would say um, the dating is crazy though. I don't know how much challenge dating is in
Absolutely. I'm
Brazil.
checking here. I'm sorry, but you can speak.
Okay. Yeah, so I'm not sure how challenging it is in Brazil, but in US, so
Oh,
um,
yeah. Uh, I
yeah.
I face the same challenge. In my case, I'm a workaholic. I don't know where to stop, but it's because I'm finishing to study graphic design. I started in 2020, and now I'm finishing.
Oh, nice.
Well, and uh, and graphic design is good because we can study and work on the field. That's why I
Right.
chose. But I stay on until 1 a.m., 2 a.m. I don't know when to stop. And even my weekends, half of Saturday, I still do some work activities, and the other half, half Saturday to hold Sunday. Well, it's time to turn off all social media and live my life.
Yeah. Yeah,
And many
definitely.
people they don't understand it.
Yeah. How long do you have until the graphic designing is done? Like you must really love it, right?
Oh yeah. And when you and people are really nowadays shallow. They just want the so-called situationship. I don't know if you heard about this.
I've heard about it, but I have
Just
never bothered to. What is that actually? What is situationship? I don't know. I've heard of it.
Yes. Well, from what I heard about this, I read a lot. It's just have the fun part of a relationship, but not the serious part, like
Got it.
the responsibilities.
Oh,
It's a, I think it's a issue. Lack of responsibilities. It's an issue from, I think, from my generation, millennials ahead. I don't say myself, but we don't like responsibilities, but they are important. Even in work life and in personal life, they are important. They make us, I think, mature people and more interesting people. The less mature we are, we tend to be shallow.
yeah.
It's just an opinion.
No, 100% true. 100% true. I think that's our generation, because we have so many things going on. It's not the same as our parents' generation. Like because of the AI, the coming AIs, most of the jobs are going to be replaced in few years. We are in a very substantial change is gonna happen in this like next few years. So we are in this like pivot, big timeline of this human civilization. um, and it's very hard to survive by your own self, like as in there are so many responsibilities we already have. Like for example, you right, you have to study, you have to career, and then save enough money to try to travel, save enough money to buy a house, and then only comes a good life, and then only comes family. So we haven't even have this. We don't even have the base or the foundation that is required to build a family. That's the problem with our whole generation, is because all these corporations became greedy, and then the salary remained almost the same ever, and the inflation is just keeps on getting higher. And people like us, it's hard to handle more responsibilities, including
Mhm.
having kids. It's crazy right now.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, kids are a huge responsibility, and I volunteer with children at church, and I see how parents are less and less responsible with their children. They want to throw responsibilities to third people. They don't want to assume and stay with the and in the place they want to stay with the sweetest parts. I mean, taking pictures and doing um, huge birthday parties. Well, Brazilian parties for children, you must see, is a super production. Many Instagrammable tables and candies and big cake.
Yeah, I heard
Uh,
of it. That you guys go full on for kids
yeah,
parties.
we can. Uh,
Yeah.
and when people they can't afford the parties, but there are more important things such as education
Yeah.
and love, and even raise a child with good values. And I think this is missing.
Mm. No, it's true. It's true. Yeah.
Uh, well, you don't want to talk about work, and then I skip this part of cybersecurity. With your family's involvement in politics is another sensitive issue, I know. You likely have insights in the complexities of political dynamics and societal issues. Are there any top secret feelings and emotions you have encountered while grappling with the weight of these issues or navigating the political landscape?
Yeah. I'm in the part of world where money buys power, or the power buys
Oh,
money, or whatever, vice versa. It's not like USA. So, and that goes back to why I said I was privileged enough, is because my grandparents, my great grandparents, they were already they already laid the foundation uh, for for us to thrive uh,
mhm,
long in the future by their connections, using their connections, right? So yeah, my family. I mean, if you type up my last name, you'd see you would already see like the mayors and everybody that that are in Nepal,
mhm,
who are my uncles actually. So yeah, I mean, one thing that makes me realize with politics is it's a very dirty game. It's crazy. It's like you
yeah,
have to let go of integrity and dignity just to achieve what you want, and it's very dirty, right?
I agree
You,
with you. I
yeah,
left because of it. I agree
yeah.
with you.
It's so crazy if you think about it. The good thing and a selfish thing is you can do almost whatever you want and can get away with it if you have right connections. Like for
Mhm,
example, I'm not gonna say what we did, but there are times for our own personal gain where we changed laws, or we went around the laws to achieve what we wanted. And we have
yeah.
done like that kind of thing 2 3 times in our, especially for me. um so yeah, I mean, the one thing, okay, let me give you an example.
Okay.
In Nepal, you can only be granted citizenship only if you have a father, only if you have whatever all that thing is. I don't have a father. What I'm gonna do about it? The law says only you can get citizenship based on your father. It's not like USA where you were born in the hospital and you just get the certificate. Our birth certificate does not matter. Nothing matters. You just need father to say you are a citizenship. That's the law. Still the law, right? How I got citizenship? My mom did it. How she did it? She got around the law. And how we got around the law? Because we have political connections. And there are countless of people in Nepal still suffering from the same issue, because males are males, right? Uh, they they do their thing and then they leave if they are a shitty person. So there are lots of folks like me in Nepal who cannot still get the citizenship. And growing up and seeing all this thing, like how much privilege I have in terms of who I am, I feel very, very, very fortunate to be in this
Mhm.
position compared to most of the guys who've never, uh, you know, experienced those stuff. For example, let me give you another example. When I was a kid, or when I was in school, like forget about kid, the things I used to do from my family, like,
Mhm.
all these things, I wouldn't say that to my friends because my friends cannot relate themselves to us because, uh, they are lower middle class to middle class folks, and it was hard for me to relate with them, in terms of what I did over the weekend, where I went, what I ate. I would just not even talk about it because if I say all these things, first of all, these kids will, think either highly of me, try to take advantage of me, or try to take advantage as in like friendship, not actual friendship, but based for
Mhm.
that benefit. So there were those things. So I would like literally hide these facts and just try to be with them. But the good thing about what came through doing that is being with these guys, I found the importance of hard work. I found the importance of, uh, you know, passion and just being humble and down to earth. Even if you achieve everything in life, even if you are like top 1% of the society, you always feel grounded. You always feel, very humble to be where you are. And that now dates back to, I mean, that, when we talk about the confidence part in your first question, that's where it goes. How I got my confidence is because I'm very proud of where I am right now, who I have become,
Mhm.
so these accumulate together, uh, to make a person, uh, or the personality of a person. And that's where I am. Navigating politics is complex subject, but just doing the things that other people need, or make other people, suffer less, gives you joy at the end of the day.
Oh, well, I told you in the beginning, I come from a more conservative family. Many of my family members, they are not politicians. They are public servants. Here, it's like being a politician, but without the election part. They earn money from taxpayers forever.
Right.
And well, I look at that world and look at in the mirror. Do I really want to be like them? And I started being a great conflict. And then I started therapy. And the therapist told me, "Oh, have you heard about the Plato's cave?
No.
that family, that family is the Plato cave. Inside the cave, everything seems perfect and wonderful.
Yeah.
But uh, if you leave the cave, you will meet the real world. You will see the world.
Yeah.
So you want to leave the cave. You don't want to stay inside."
Right.
And when he told me this story, I started. Yeah, I want to leave this cave. I want to be a self-made woman. Uh,
Yes.
I don't want to depend on connections and connections. Networking is a different thing. You are in. It's like dating, but professionally,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
uh, but have the connections, the so-called connections, to me so dirty, and even stealing someone else's place and pretend you are a correct person, a straight person. To me, is too much. So
Yeah.
when you said about your uh, very political family. I really understand you are saying, because I also decided to give up all of this. I know it's really hard to establish a life outside the cave, but I'm
Yeah.
trying, and I'm getting some small results, slow results, but it's better than inside the cave.
Yeah, 100%. My mom still wants me to come back to Nepal and then, just live a life there. And I told her, I was like, hey, it's not possible now. It's like I don't want to live that kind of life. Yeah.
Mhm. Well, it's your cave. You want
Yeah,
to live
exactly.
outside the cave.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, about your morning routine, what does it looks like, and how does it motivate you for the day?
My morning routine.
Yeah, if it's
Oh,
something special,
yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I wash my face, brush my teeth. No, I'm kidding. So the morning routine is basically, um, I'm a very late sleeper, so I sleep at 3 a.m. Uh, yeah, see, now that's
Night
where
hours.
entrepreneur, yeah, that's where
Yeah.
entrepreneur comes because that's where I work a lot, um, at nighttime. Um, it's just focusing on the things that matter. I prioritize my tasks, the things that going through action items, like checking what are the things that needs to be done today, taking a deep breath. Obviously, that's what I do first. Uh, you know, I I realized there will be like so many checklists that I need to do, and then I try to prioritize them, and then somehow I get procrastinated by the Instagrams. Uh, I'm not going to lie. Yeah, I obviously check Instagram, um, and I try to time myself on how much I spend time in Instagram, or I don't have TikTok, but in the social medias. But I try to it's very hard to get up. First of all, when the alarm goes off, it's very hard to get up. You need something to get. You just don't open your eyes and think about like, okay, this is a checklist. No, that's not happening. You need to go from sleep mode to wake mode, and that's where that Instagram comes in as a buffer, right? To fill that buffer. I was this, and after that, and then only I realized, okay, these are the checklist items, these are the agendas for today, and I get my morning coffee, and then I will go to the coffee shop or
Mhm.
cafeteria to get some breakfast. I like to get my usual. Actually, I've been focusing more on the health side, so I've been um, using my oatmeals a lot these days, just trying to eat healthy instead of going out. But yeah, I mean that's how my normal routine looks like, and try to check my calendar before sleeping so that I know when to wake up. That's the biggest factor. But having that agenda built for today, everybody should do it if you want to remain productive.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, it's hard to wake up, and I start my week doing language exchange with my Japanese friend. She's in Japan, and 12 hours of difference
Oh
is not
wow,
something to ignore.
right?
uh, so I need to wake up early because of her 3 times a week. And yeah, it's really hard to wake up early sometimes. Sometimes the head starts really slowly, and then when I drink my coffee, the day goes. So it's important too.
Yeah.
And well, continuing on this vibe, what's your way of showing up every day?
What's my way of showing up every day?
Yeah, for yourself.
Yeah. For me, being prepared, being focused on the things that matters again, right? Uh, What is the primary goal that I'm trying to achieve in life? Is it the money? Is it the happiness? Is it I'm trying to change the world? What is the primary goal? Or I'm trying to survive paycheck to paycheck day by day? For me, especially, it's combination of trying to change the world for better and also, uh, earning the money and also living independently,
Mhm.
not have to rely on my employers, right? Or not having to rely on the clients who pays me money. So those three are the combinations. I always visualize myself. So, for example, right? I'm in USA, but I went to Thailand just 4 5 months ago.
Mhm.
I earn US dollars here. I go to Thailand, I can live like a king, right? I have an infinity pool. I have all the luxury. I have the city view, all this. In USA, to achieve the same thing, I have to pay 10 times more in the rent. 10 times more in the rent. I mean, it's very hard to get the apartment or buy apartment in the city because of
Mhm.
we have a thing called HOA. Uh, if the city has not much in demand, which is never the case, so it's difficult in USA. Basically, that's my point. So I always see myself, by that traveling experience, you open up your horizon and you see like what matters to you the most. For me, what
Mhm.
matters is just living the lifestyle the way I want. That matters to me. And knowing that, how to get there, step one, step two, step three. I have to build a roadmap on how to get there.
Mhm.
In the short term, do I have to make more money? If I'm making 100,000, should I make 500,000? If yes, what are the things? So you have to break down, right? Step one, step two, step three. Even in the step one, now you have to break down like what would be your next step. So it's the same thing I do in my entrepreneurship journey is to get to where I want. If that is a goal, if that is the I'm sorry, if that is the metrics that I want to hit, what are the small things, small steps that can be done? And I have to brainstorm all these things like proper planning, talking with people, right people, and getting the answers to whys and the hows. And then after getting all these answers from all these folks, then you start building a plan. And then you realize, okay, now you have a plan, you have a architecture, let's say blueprint of your building kind of thing. Now you need to get engineers to build that. You need to get more
Mhm.
workers to build it. So, and even if once you hired these guys, you need to focus on the whole picture. Now it's not just step one, step two. Now it's like even in the step one you are thinking about how the workers are working, how you're going to achieve it. There are multiple responsibilities coming suddenly. So multitasking is a key to any entrepreneurship, and that is where people fail a lot. If you want to grow a business, multitasking and not being passionate enough about what you want, because what happens is multitasking brings stress, right? if
Yes.
you if you do thousands of things, I mean, if you have lots of things going on, obviously, let's say you are building a product, trying to sell cosmetic products to a woman, let's say,
Mhm.
and you have to do ad management, you have to throw money in Facebook, you have to throw money in Instagram, lure the customers, there are orders coming up, there are supply chain, there are logistics that you have to put everything in place. That brings stress in your life. And you want to hire people, and you that hiring is already pain because you have to trust people, you have to train people. So if you are not passionate about what you are doing, you are never going to be successful, never. So that is a key ingredient to achieving things in your life. And how I get going is looking at the bigger picture and taking the smaller picture one day at a time. but the bigger picture has to be there every single hour. Without that, you are nothing in entrepreneurship.
Um, yeah, I made many courses of entrepreneurship, but what taught me to think like this was doing a drawing class. I drawing class and graphic design. I started doing digital drawing for the Photoshop and graphic design softwares, and now I'm with the design thinking. And when we start drawing a really big picture, or even painting, we must start doing the first sketches
Yeah.
and then see if the sketch is all right, and then put it in the paper, and then paint part by part. And we must be patient. Nothing will comes so quickly,
Right.
but if we do it correctly, great results will happen. I think
100%.
the entrepreneurship process is just like drawing a, a great piece. It's different to sketch something in 5 minutes and paint a picture in 2 or 3 months. You notice the difference. It's not the same.
That's right. And you have to focus on the details too. So there is that. Yeah.
And as a curiosity, Leonardo da Vinci, all of us know, uh, when he died, he haven't finished painting Mona Lisa, and
That's what I heard. Yeah.
we can see how perfect is Mona Lisa.
Right.
It's like the entrepreneurship process, 100%.
People always say Mona Lisa is great. I'm not sure. I mean, I've checked it. I find it ordinary. I mean, I'm not an art guy, so that's I'm sorry, but I'm not an art guy. So
Mhm.
it is very hard for me to, because if you are not that guy, right? If I'm not an art guy, it's hard to differentiate what is good versus what is not,
Oh,
right?
you seem to be the analytical person.
Yeah, exactly. I'm more of like, yeah, exactly. It's like math and physics has always been my thing. So art, everything is just like great to look at, but I'm not sure which one is great. Like, so if I have to rate myself in, I mean, rate Mona Lisa, I don't know where to rate because I don't know what art is. That's the
Mhm.
problem. See, for people like me, at least.
Oh, well, it's one of the most famous paintings around the world. I don't know the value, but it costs billions of dollars. That's all I
Makes
know.
sense. Makes sense. People go to
Uh,
Paris just because of that.
yeah. And when I read it was an unfinished work, I thought, wow,
Yeah.
it's perfect, but it wasn't finished. And making a business, where after I started learning uh, design thinking, not
Hmm.
exactly how to draw. I like I told you, I draw since I was a kid. You start to thinking about some details. Oh, one time you must stop,
Yeah.
and that's okay. The
Hmm.
result's great. And in business, I think it's just like this. One time you must trust in the process and
Yeah.
through the idea. If you don't throw the idea, you will never know what customers will think
That's right.
about your business.
No, 100%. That's right. You need to trust your process. That's it.
Uh, well, now it's a funny question.
Hmm.
If you had a time capsule uh, to be open 100 years from now, what would you put in it?
A time capsule where I put something and I open up in 200 years, 300 years.
Yeah.
What do I treasure more? And I probably put my brain in it. Yeah, I think I would like to be I like to be the same person, but I think I'm not sure how much. Uh, you know, I think by that time might have we might actually have a chip, just like a
Mhm.
storage, like a Google storage, all these storage, where we download our thoughts and put it in the storage. By that time, it actually could be a possibility. I'm not joking at this time. Yeah. Um, but for now, in the current scenario of technology and everything, I'll just put my brain there so I can just take it back and then transplant again, just because I love who I am. So narcissistic thing to say, but I guess I love who I am. So I would put my brain in it.
Oh, it's a very interesting answer. I think none of my guests answered this before.
Really? What do they answer? Money?
Uh, some of them put old cell phone. Another one would put a recorder and even some papers. And my first guest told, "Oh, it's stupid to put a letter in a paper because no one will understand." But the answers are very, and they are really funny to hear. Uh,
Yeah.
and the and another one. What do you think about the phrase? You are the sum of the five people you spend the most time with.
Right now, in my phase, currently in my life, the most my mom, my cousin, one of my cousin, uh,
Mhm.
who I'm very close to, my co-founder, uh, and other people are the work related. Because I'm doing so many things. It's right now, uh, majority, as a matter of fact, would fill with work folks. Uh, but in my family, I think it's my mom, one of my uncle, my cousin. Yeah, but and other one is the co-founder and the coworkers. Yeah.
Oh. Understandable. When we are entrepreneurs, our business is our kid.
Yeah.
I completely understand. Well, our conversation has been great, but we are coming to an end, and these are the last questions. The last three questions. The first
Okay.
one: looking ahead, what are your hopes for addressing and embracing top secret feelings in your personal and professional life? How do you envision leveraging your experiences and expertise to foster a culture of openness and vulnerability in your interactions with others?
To foster the culture of positiveness,
Oh, yeah.
to foster the culture of open-mindedness, innovation, positivity, right? It has to be coming from, so there is a thing called top to down approach, right? Or the bottom up approach. So here, um, at least for the folks in my vicinity, I have to be open minded about things. I have to change myself to change other people. I have to change myself to persuade other people to change their views. You will find people in your life where folks are very resilient to change, and that's okay. All you need to do is just to put your thoughts out. You know, if there are things that are clearly morally wrong, standing up against that is not hard, right? Because the things are not the way it should be. So standing up against is not hard, but persuading that person is the challenge. So from myself, I think I need to fix myself to persuade other people. That is that is the conclusion, basically.
Okay. Uh, and what's one idea that you think the majority of people get wrong?
The idea that the Earth is flat. No, well, that too. I mean, I think that I'm actually shocked by how many people actually take this thing seriously, like the Earth is flat. Uh, the idea of people, we have tribal mentality. That's a problem still. We are tribal mentalists. People who are not us are different than us. We still have that idea unconsciously. If you don't belong in my community, if you don't belong in my family, then you are different. Then I will have different kind of thinking towards you. We still have that idea, right? And that is why the division happens. That's why hatred happens. That's why racism happens, because people are not thinking people as a unified, you know, as a as a unified. I don't even know what the word is. Um, but people are just thinking, dividing because that's in our brain, and I think we need to slowly change who we are. And I think the problem with that is you cannot just change. The problem with that is education needs to change for that, because when we are raised like that since we were kids, is hey, don't talk with strangers, they don't talk with this, don't talk with that. There's the division starts coming since the day the kid starts starts his life journey or her life journey. It's very hard to uh, not have that feeling, but I think we need to get rid of that idea slowly. That well, let's not. And especially we are kind of in a victim culture where everybody is against us, kind of thing. So we need to get rid of those feelings.
Oh, for sure. When we belong to exotic cultures, people tend to see us differently. But sometimes we have the same aspirations.
Yeah.
Uh, and physical appearance is just one part of us and is the shallowest part of us. Physical appearance, to me, is nothing. I think we must look beyond. So I completely agree with you. And
Yeah.
last question. If your life could take a radical turn, what would that be?
In a good way or bad way?
uh,
uh so you said a radical turn, right?
yes, radical.
uh what would that be? I mean, I think I'm not gonna lie, I think I'm very good at where I'm in my life. Of course, yeah, of course. I think it could be better or it could be worse. One can always hope for better, but it's never the case. Uh, so instead of thinking about if I wish this happens, so that is again a problem in that kind of approach, is because you are wishing things, but if you are actually not doing things, that just gives you depression. For example, I wish I was in Switzerland right now on my private jet. You know,
Oh, I do
you know
love to have a castle.
exactly. That's the thing. Like, if I wish that, and if I really, really wish that, like, I really want to see that happening, and I don't do anything, I feel depressed. That's how people become depression. That's how people commit suicide, because the reality is completely different than what they are trying to achieve, and they feel depressed. So for now, me, I'm good at where I am. All these things like that. Good where you are, and you are just trying to do the best so you can go where you want to be. Um, That's it. For now, I do not want to change anything in my life. I love where I am.
Well, I would say it in other words. Dreams are different from goals. To have a dream, you dream about something.
Hmm.
I as a creative, I daydream a lot. Some alternative scenarios, and if I really pursue all of them, of course not.
Right.
I just see what's better to my life and what's achievable, and of course they become my goals. Not all of them are achievable. For example, I'd love to have a castle in Switzerland to eat chocolate, but
Right.
unfortunately, I can't.
Yeah.
but uh, but that's okay to, for example, to travel through the world with my sketchbook. This is my lifetime goal,
Yeah.
and make a documentary with all my artist wanderings. This is what I
Yeah.
want the most.
No, 100%. And dreaming is good as long as you are working on it.
What and the bonus question: DKLA stores are always open to you. Would you come back if you could?
100%. I would.
Yeah.
I enjoy talking to you, so of course I would.
Oh, I'm glad to hear that. And do you have a final message to our listeners?
Uh, yeah, sure. Um, always, think, do things positively. And if you're an entrepreneur, or if you're trying to, make more money, do it so rightfully, but do things that are morally right. Work on it, have a self-discipline, have focus, and don't get deterred. If you are a man, especially, go to gym. That will change your life, not physically, I'm talking about mentally. So that's it.
Thank you very much for giving me your time and thoughts.
Yeah.
And I wish you a successful path in your entrepreneurship. I know how hard it is, uh, and I
Yeah.
wish you the best.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Yeah, great talking to you.